Hey guys, I'm Lauren Francesca.
Well, I'm Brad Grunberg, and this is show 103 with Kyle Arrington. How to start? How you doing, Kyle?
I'm well. Another day to get it right, so I cannot complain. How about you guys? How y'all doing?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Very
Excited
good.
to have you
Love,
on.
loving energy.
When I saw you at that celebrity gifting suite, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I wonder if he'll do our podcast."
No, you so sweet, so much energy. With 6 degrees from separation, and like we had a great conversation. I said, "Come on now, hey, it'd be my honor." So, no, thank you for having me on.
She duped you, man. She duped you.
Did you know?
No, she's great. She's great. Kyle, you played football. You were fantastic. Did you have a good time playing football for the NFL? You miss it?
Yeah, yes, I had a great time. It was a wonderful experience, great experience, wonderful opportunity, and I guess the heart misses it, but the body, not as much, not as much. If these bones could talk.
I hear you. I hear you. Why don't you
Wow.
tell us about your children's book? That's very exciting. I'm excited to read it.
Yes, yes. So it's called entitled. Thank you, Lauren, for the prop. It is called "Piece It Together." So, first, my wife and I, upon my last season before exiting the league, we started a foundation called the Evolve Foundation, and just our never-ending quest to try to leave this world a better place than we found it. One of those missions is literacy, especially when it comes to our children. And the book is, for kids 4 to 9 years old, and it's such a comprehensive age where you're learning to read, but then you read to learn at that point as well. And so so you wanted to do, well, first and foremost, wanted to check the box of just literacy and the importance of that for our youth. And two, also wanted to incorporate STEM into the project. My wife and I were very firm advocates as well as STEM and the benefits that it has on the educational experience. And then just obviously the overarching, theme and message of the book about, peace, unity, and togetherness. And, we say all the time, even as an excerpt in the book, how it says, individually you can go fast, but together we can go far. So yeah, like I said, a few check marks we wanted to, a few boxes we wanted to check as far as the project was concerned. So we're very happy, we're very thrilled, and also thrilled that it's going to be a part of cons as well. This for the upcoming film festival. So Pieces Together is it's going international.
All right. Touching lives, Kyle. I love it. Touching lives, baby. All the way.
Yeah, I feel like your book it's such a positive message, and to be in the NFL, you really have to. It's like being an Olympian. How did you get there?
Well, it's interesting. Well, I won't bore you all the details, but it was quite the journey. Well, one thing I say when I speak to kids, maybe I go to a high school tomorrow to speak to a group of kids, and I tell them, talent is great. Talent is something that we always won't be able to rely on, though. Those of us who are successful, the majority of us who become successful and we achieve is through persistence, is through resilience. So I myself, I was never the most. I realized at a young enough age, that I wasn't necessarily the most talented person in the room. But one thing that I could control was how the effort I would put in, how much work I would put in, and I understood. Well, I told myself like no one would outwork me, and so it was just I had to scratch, claw, fight, just have an undeniable work ethic in terms of just getting the opportunity to play in the NFL, and I kind of told myself I was going to make the most of it, and I got my opportunity, and I just hey, they was going to have to just rip it from me. The next person going to have to rip this opportunity from me. So I wasn't going to let it go easy.
What was your greatest moment in the NFL? The greatest, you must have so many.
Greatest individual.
Like meeting somebody, meeting your hero, just being around the team.
Okay. All right. I got the parameters. So greatest moment, I would say meeting. I was a couple of them. So my first when I first I went to Philly. From the draft, wasn't drafted. I was an undrafted free agent. But when I first got into the locker room, I met. So Brian Dawkins was there, and he has one locker for himself, but he has another locker for just his Wolverine persona as well. So so I met both of them. So I met both of them that day. So that was a great experience. As a defender, growing up and looking at cornerbacks and safeties and their play and trying to emulate them. So that was just very a very full circle moment. Another one of my childhood idols was Warwick Dunn. So when I went to Tampa the following year, that was his last season. And I'd say I wore the number 28 in Little League after work. After this guy, I'm in Little League. He's in the NFL, and at this point, and now fast forward to me as an adult, opportunity to be in the NFL, and here he is still playing. We're teammates, So that was just it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. And he's such a good guy. Has a great foundation himself. Building homes for single moms. And so, just such a great guy. As talented as he is off the field, even better person. Talented person as he is on the field, even a better person off of it.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. I love it. You have that stage, and it takes a real person, real good person to use it, other than playing football, but touching lives. And it seems as though you've surrounded yourself with those kind of people.
Yes, one thing that was preached to us at playing for some fantastic organizations, like I said, Philadelphia, Tampa, New England. I spent the majority of my career in New England, Baltimore, and it was all those historic and prestige franchises all have one common theme. It seemed like as much as a pillar, though we are on the field, we have to be even more of a pillar off of the field. And that's how we impact lives. That's how we touch lives.
Absolutely.
Wow, I love that. And can you tell us a little bit about Hope Lives?
Absolutely. So I guess first I would have to say one thing that I like to say is that it's not about the medium, it's about the message. So whether that's a children's book, whether that's this conversation, whether that's playing football, whether that's broadcasting, or acting, or whatever I'm doing. So it was an opportunity to be involved in a project in a feature film, and it's an anti-bullying project. And the filmmaker was actually one of the sponsors behind the book project. So that's how we got introduced. And he was like, "Hey, I have this role for you. I'm gonna send over the script." And I was like, "Absolutely." It's because it's the message. Like I said, the message there in just terms of bullying. And now even, with this being 2023, what came out last year, 2022, but even just still the new age way of approach of bullying and how it affects our kids even more so if you think about it, because they never could get time out, from them just because of social media and things like that now. So I think it was a great project to be involved in. Fun opportunity, great opportunity. The whole cast and crew was amazing. Hope, it's a movie about obviously anti-bullying, obviously about hope, but also about forgiveness as well. So a lot of great threads in there that the filmmaker, like I said, Anthony Hackett, Sunset Friday, that he accomplished. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity, and hope I hope that it impacts and makes an enduring, impactful, resonates in someone's life.
Do you have any kids?
Do I? I'm trying to get rid of it. Nah. So we have three. Me and my wife have 3 kids. Yeah, we got 10, 8, and 4.
Wow.
So we are right in the thick of it.
Good for you. Your kids are very lucky. You have great parents. It all starts with the parents, and what you teach them, right? They learn from your parents. They look up to you. Lauren and I are very blessed. We both have great parents, and they've taught us a lot. By the way, you have great teeth. What's up with that? Are you a flosser?
I paid enough for them. Nah, let me stop. I did have braces as a kid, so and it's funny because I did the braces. They give you the retainer afterwards. I didn't really wear the retainer like I should, and then so my teeth kind of shifted as I became an adult. So then again, I had to do it all over again, with the Invisalign. So I'm wearing the retainer this time.
You got a great orthodontist, man. I'm just saying, a great dentist, man. Look at those chops, man. It's all about the smile, right? It's all about the smile.
Yeah. So Kyle, what was it like going to the Super Bowl? Like that is just,
wow.
Yeah, so I was very, very fortunate to go not once but twice and come away with one. So I am very keenly aware that a lot of great players, have come in this league and have never won one, yet even made it to, you think of like Dan Marino's and guys like that, Hall of Famers who have don't even have, can't say that they can forever be immortalized, right? When it comes to a select group. So, not only going but winning one, I mean, it's hard to describe in terms of the feeling afterwards, with the confetti and your family and friends, just rushing down to the field to greet you, because it wasn't just for you, because I mean everybody went along that ride, took that ride and that journey with you from the very beginning. You think, from the very time you strap on those cleats in Little League, as a PB player. So, that the family and friends have been along with you on that emotional journey as well, for years. And so to be able to reach the zenith that that the Super Bowl is as far as that profession goes, and to like I said, to walk away a champion. I mean, it's such a surreal feeling that it's like I said, it's almost indescribable, hard to put in words. So it's just I don't know, any and everything, like I said, any and everything that you went through physically, emotionally, spiritually, it all just comes to like a culmination right in that moment, So I guess the best way, at least I try to describe it.
Hey Kyle, you played with the GOAT, Tom Brady. Okay. I want to know, I have a whole issue with this, putting it behind, retiring and moving on to another chapter in your life. You did that. And I think Tom, he doesn't need any more money. He doesn't need any more Super Bowls. Him and Aaron Rodgers, they're taking a spot of another guy. Okay. I mean, if you could be honest, how did you know when to say, I've had the greatest ride in the world, it's time to do other things? And what are your feelings about those guys still, retiring, coming back, and all that nonsense?
Well, so in my situation, well, my circumstances was that, so I retired not of my own free will. Some of us like to go out on our own terms. Well, most of us like to go out on our own terms, I should say, not all of us. Some of us have to go out kicking and screaming. and so I guess I was a latter in a sense, where I had suffered a major severe head injury, and therefore, when you have to weigh the risk versus the reward, well, when the risk outweighs the reward, more so I should say, that's how at least that's how I know when it was my time, because I want, you have a family at that point. I had two kids, had two beautiful kids, one on the way, and so I wanted just to continue to be the best, father, husband, son, friend I could be for, not like I said, not only for myself, for my family, for my friends. And so, it's all about just as much as this game has, given me, and I'm grateful for, you still want to be able to walk away a sound mind, body, and spirit, And, but I think guys like Tom, Aaron Rodgers, guys who are lucky enough to play, almost about 2 decades worth of football. I mean, heck, it's a children's game at the end of the day. And if you could continue to play it, for as long as you can, I'll never be the one to suggest otherwise. I as far as Tom, another reason why you got to consider him the GOAT, not even consider him the GOAT, you got to crown him the GOAT, is because it not only, does he have, the most more championships than anybody ever, has entered this league in terms of individual players go, but he also has the most retirement parties. Oh, individual player has come through in this league, and hey, he might come out again. He might come out of retirement again. Join go to Miami. So yeah, we just never know. So I don't know. You got to take your hat off the top.
No, it's just, I think it's selfish because he had a family and his wife asked him to retire. It just takes one shot, shot. And these guys, you play defense. They want Rodgers. They want Tom. They're coming around left end and they're going to level them. Come on. I know, they love these guys, but there's a place and a time where you say, thank you, God. I'm healthy. I'm going to walk away. John Elway did it. 2 Super Bowls in a row. See you later. Right. So I give you props, man. You walked away. You had to kind of be forced out, but you did the right thing, man. God bless you.
You know what? That's what it makes it so. It's interesting because if you think about it, just like any given facet or any given other occupation, we're all wired differently, and our motivations are different as well. And so, Tom's one of those guys, probably what I gathered, I experienced, he's just like the ultimate competitor, just so fiery, and in a sense, it's almost like if he could continue to be able to play football, at a high enough level where he has the peace of mind too, he's going to, just because that, I mean, that's his passion. And so you see, for him to retire, unretired, then kind of was on the fence, almost on the fence again, this past season. So I mean, it's like he's just, like I said, it has to be, when it comes to the whole wives and family and understanding that, I mean, that's a conversation for them, So that has nothing to do with us, I feel. So yeah, but I mean, I can't knock a guy for wanting to play if as long as he's able to play.
Yeah, no, I understand. I used to be a dancer, so you get, like, when you're really passionate about something, it's definitely what you want to do. But what are your tips, I guess, for staying healthy while you're doing these kind of exercises and training? It looks so dangerous. Like, how did you stay safe all the time?
I guess you control what you can control, I guess. And that's because when you're out there on the field, it's a violent sport. So, unfortunately, injuries come with the game, but then you also have to recognize, like, are you hurt? Are you injured? At that point, because you also want to be smart too. So, I mean, we've seen it even this past season when it comes to, players, concussions, staying in the game when maybe they should have been out of the game. And you really can't rely on the trainers, the coaches, or anybody else, because you have to. I know I know they try to protect us from ourselves because we are we're competitors, we're gladiators, in a sense as well. But you also have to just understand, like, now you still have a lot of life to live. After football, is where you think about it, it's really just a finite career, unless you're like a Tom Brady or Brett Favre, a guy where you could take 2 decades of your life, play professional sport. But for the rest of us, like I said, it's a very finite part of your life, and you just want to make sure that you are able to walk away and ensure you have a certain quality of life as well that I think that most of us would want.
Yeah, and you're in a violent sport too. I mean, you really got to take that into consideration when you're playing. I mean, the injuries are a part of the game. Yes, like I love LeBron. He's 38 years old and still at the peak of his talent. It's incredible, and he is the king. I mean, but again, I really believe the window closes in life. I've been an actor a long time, and I give people advice. Listen, up to a point, you have a great time, but then you should have other interests. Touch lives, get out there, teach, and those are the blessings that we all have. But yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for your honesty about that.
No, I trust me. I totally get it. I'm one of those persons where I try to have, I guess, a broadened view, and I try to look outside myself in terms of every aspect. So I mean, my wife, we might not always see eye to eye, but then again, okay, let me look at it from her perspective. So it's one of those kind of things that we all, sometimes we get self-immersed into our, and it's easy because, like, we're the ones going through the experience, right? So yeah, but I just try to make an emphasis and try to have a more wider, broader view of things. And so I mean, and this no, I mean, yeah. So
I've never been married, but is it happy wife, happy life? Is that right?
There it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's nice.
Now, as a kid, did you always know you wanted to play football? And did your family kind of install this togetherness, teamwork in you, or is that something you learned along the way?
Oh no, we're very tight. Like you guys said at the beginning, had great parents. You guys have great parents, have great parents as well. So great parents, siblings, and we're very, very, very tight knit. It's about as tight as it gets. So one thing, it's not that even my folks preached upon it. It was more like just learn, it'd be learn behavior, I guess. Just we would always host things. My parents' house would be the go-to place to have family, friends come over and hang out. And so that's kind of how I kind of turned into a homebody. My wife, she always wants to go out. And I'm like, well, let's just have some people over. Just have some friends hang out with her kid because she don't always want to do that. But no, so like I said, I have wonderful, tremendous parents. They set a great example. And part of the I guess part of what we do, the reason behind what we do is because we realize not every, we all would be naive to think that all of us have, even especially our kids, an environment, that is of equal, level playing field. And so yes, we all don't come from the same kind of environment. So that's why it's an old school saying called we talk about like the village. So how it takes a village to raise a kid. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. That doesn't make it any less true. It really does take a village to raise a kid. And we just try to be that village, that boy, when it comes to especially our marginalized communities, just to ensure they have the resources, the tools, the opportunities, the exposure, that they need to be the best versions of themselves.
We always ask this question on how to start, not including football. What was your first job as a kid?
First job ever. First job,
paying job, yeah.
First paying job. Okay. I'm glad you said that. Now let me stop. I worked at Champs sporting goods store. So yeah, I was when I was in high school, it was all about the shoes. It was all about the shoes for me. The shoes made my fit. I was very, basic and conservative with what I wore as far as clothing go. But I let all my shoes do the talking. So I had to have the shoes. But as you can imagine, my parents like, well, we're not going, if you want shoes, you can go buy them yourself. So I got a job, and so it made sense because I got the discount to go along with it.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. You got the discount at Champs. Yeah, I love it. You got the new Jordans when they came out, right? You got them all. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And then my very next job was Old Country Buffet. So
I like that. I'm a hometown buffet guy. You can tell by my, I like to eat a little bit.
You and me both. I'm a foodie
too. That's great. What did you do there? What did you do at the buffet?
Oh, well, you would think they would put this pretty face in the front, as a host, anything like, but they stuck me in the back as a line server.
The face man should be up front. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's it. I was a guy who were interchanging out the trays when they would get low. Right. But it was a great job because I would take it back and I would just kind of, I was like, oh well, they didn't finish this orange chicken. Well, okay. So I've been a little eating on the job. But it made you like I said, I'm a foodie. So yeah, that's why I always would work jobs where it made sense.
Yeah,
where it made sense for me personally.
But those blue collar jobs made the man you are today, right? I mean, I had those kind of jobs. It's like when you come from privilege, you don't appreciate, But I appreciate it. I can see you appreciate your upbringing and what you had to do to get here.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you have to, like I said, scratch, claw, and fight for everything that's earned, never given, right? That is earned. Right. It's that the more self-gratifying, it's more self-gratifying in the gratification there.
Yeah.
Now, any advice you can give to our viewers on how they could give back to the kids, even if they don't have kids, or be a part of the village that is a positive influence?
Absolutely. So, well, for us, I would say first, please check us out at www.theevolvefoundation.org. You can also check us out on social media on Instagram. We are _Evolve Foundation. Just donate, stay up to date with our initiatives and our events and what we're doing. And definitely, however you want to pour into us, and so we can pour into others in that regard. Please do. But then one thing I would mention as well is that honestly, it's be your own blueprint, be your own social proof. It's one thing me and my wife we talk about all the time ad nauseum is about being the social proof, and that means understanding that you represent more than yourself. You represent like your family, your friends, where you come from. You represent like those looking up to you. If you're a parent, your kids, you're a role model. So, and we don't do what we do just for our kids. We do what we do for all of our kids because they're the ones who have to grow up in this world and navigate. And they can't do that if they don't have, like I said, the proper role models, right? So that's kind of how along the lines that we think of. And it's not always about the macro moments. I like to say, whether you put on events or you put on initiatives, whatever the case may be. I think what it really comes down to is the micro moments, and that's like just all the everyday interactions. How we treat each other, what we say to each other, how we treat each other. Sometimes open up a door for somebody, have a conversation with somebody, ask somebody how they doing. You never know how that might just your like attitudes are infectious. So you never know how that might change somebody's day, change somebody's week, or change the trajectory of somebody's life. You just never know what it may do. So I would just implore us to, like I said, once again, a cliche, treat each other how we want to be treated.
Right. God, this has been great. I mean, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everybody, check out Kyle. Be a mentor. Touch lives. Right, Lauren? I mean,
yes, no, I'm so excited, Kyle. You have so many amazing things to say, and I love you're so motivational. So thank you so much for giving us your time. Hopefully, we can have you back on soon because you're so great. Yeah, I have so many questions for you, but unfortunately, we have to wrap up. Your Instagram, Kyle. Do you want to just shout out your Instagram or any other socials?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you guys can follow me, stay up to date. It is Air24. So ARR, the number 2 and 4 spelled out. So Air24.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. And guys, make sure to follow Kyle. He's awesome. Buy his book.
Oh, you're very kind. I mean, I'm okay. Let my wife tell it. I'm okay.
You get it, Kyle. You get it, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, another show in the books, number 103. That's Kyle Arrington. I'm Brad Grunberg, and that's Lauren Francesca.
Thank you, Kyle.
On How to Start. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.